Yaakov said, "This is the Shah HaShamayim. This is the gate of heaven." This is the place of Yerushalayim, the place of the Beit HaMikdash. That's Yaakov has in his dream this week. See, the question is, Yaakov has such dreams, and Nebuah, we have to make sure we have such holy, holy dreams. Okay, we are on 16a. We were just trying to address in the art scroll 16a1, the bottom of the page. We were just trying to address an apparent contradiction in Rabbi Yehuda, on Rish Lakish from Rabbi Yehuda. What happened? Rish Lakish says that a warning has to be definitive. If you give a warning, the person has to know that if he violates what you just told him, he's going to get lashes. If it's not clear that he's going to get lashes at that moment that he doesn't listen, he's not going to get lashes. That is the opinion of, Yaron, you want to send to the group? Thank you. That is the opinion of Rish Lakish. A warning has to be definitive. And the Gemara asked the question by the case of Notar. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Rabbi.
So the Gemara asked the question from the case of Notar. But Notar, when you tell the guy, don't leave it over to the morning. So you go over to him at 10 o'clock at night, he's eating the Karban Pesach, and you tell the guy, and you have a feeling that for some reason this guy is leaving it over to the morning. So you tell the guy, don't leave it over to the morning. Now, when you give him that warning at 10 p.m., and then he doesn't do anything and he doesn't eat it that moment, he could say, I'll eat it at 11. What happens by the end of the night, he doesn't eat it. So he violated it. And the Gemara says that type of warning would have given him lashes, but there's some other reason why he doesn't get lashes. Why doesn't he get lashes? Rabbi Leishloka says, because the Torah gave a fix. Good morning, Ariel. The Torah gave a fix. Because the Torah gave a fix, therefore there's no lashes. Good morning, Jaime. Welcome back. We missed you.
Thank you, Rabbi. Good to be back.
Yes, we are on 16a on the bottom, on the right corner, on the right corner. So the Gemara told us there's a case of Notar. Notar is a case where the Torah says don't leave it over to the morning. And the Torah says if you leave it over to the morning, the law will be you have to go ahead and burn it. Yesterday we were introduced to this case. We're going to get to, the Mishnah talks about a case that you're going to get, the guy gets lashes, but this case is the case that he's not going to get lashes. But leaving over to the morning, the Torah says there is no lashes for leaving over to the morning, the Karban, because the Torah gave us a fix. The fix removes the lashes. What's the fix if you leave it over to the morning? You burn it. That's what the Torah says. Don't leave over the Karban, eat the Karban Pesach tonight. If you don't eat the Karban Pesach tonight, the Torah says, even though you were in violation, but I gave you a fix. What's the fix? To burn it. But if the Torah would not have given us the fix, what would be the law? He would have gotten lashes. So the Gemara wants to say, we see from here, even though there's something, the warning was not a very clear warning, because when you warned the guy at 10 p.m., you told him you can't leave over to the morning, the second he didn't eat right after you warned him, he could say, maybe I'm going to eat it later. It's not clear that he's going to get lashes at the time you told him the warning. Only if the whole night passes and he didn't eat it, so then you say, and still, yet we said if the whole night he passed, and you gave him such a warning, he would have gotten lashes, except for some technical reason why he doesn't get lashes because of a fix. But without the fix, he would get lashes. Why would he get lashes? The warning wasn't such a warning, a definitive warning. That is the Gemara's question on Rish Lakish, because Rish Lakish says if a warning is not, you don't know that moment you're going to get lashes, you don't give a guy lashes. So therefore, that was the Gemara's question on Rish the Rabbi Yehuda says he would get lashes, but the only reason why he doesn't get lashes because he has a fix. There's a way to fix it. So the Gemara says the following. The Gemara says, "Savala ki idach Tana Rabbi Yehuda." He has a different Tana. He found that you're going to question him from Rabbi Yehuda. You're going to question Rabbi Shlokish. Rabbi Shlokish is a later rabbi, and the later rabbis will not argue on the earlier rabbis. Meaning, let's say you have a rabbi like Rabbi Akiva. He's from the Tanaim period. A later rabbi who lived hundreds of years later won't go ahead and say, "I argue on Rabbi Akiva." No one would say that. Only someone in Rabbi Akiva's generation or that time period, that Kufa would be in the level to argue with each other. So the Gemara says, how does this rabbi Reish Lakish, the great rabbi, but he's from the later period of the Amoraim. So how does he address this opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, which would go against him, which shows you that this type of warning is a good enough warning? So the Gemara says he has a different Rabbi Yehuda. He found there's another Rabbi Yehuda that says exactly like him. And therefore, he can hang his hat on that other opinion. He's in good company from that time period. Like they say, good company with all state, whatever the expression. He's a good company with Rabbi Yehuda. So he's a good company with Rabbi Yehuda. Here comes Rabbi Yehuda. Yehuda walks in, right when we say he's a company, here we have Yehuda. Gian walks in when we say he's in good company with Yehuda. How do you like? Was that timing or not? Nathan, you like that? Okay. So now the Gemara says, the Tanya. We learned in the Braita. Listen to this fascinating case, a very sad case. It's a fascinating case and a sad case. Hikazeh, v'chazr hikazeh. The Torah says a person is not allowed to hit one's parent, father or mother. In the Hebrew, it's about 10 lines, 12 lines from the top. The first word of the line is the Rabbi Yehuda. Right. I would say you should not play basketball with your son, you taking your son or your son taking you. Because chas v'shalom, your son can hit you by mistake. That's what I don't play with my kids. I think you shouldn't play. You shouldn't be on this, for sure not on an opposing team against your son. And I presume even if he's not taking you, but there's always that opportunity that he covers for somebody else. But if he's on the opposing team, he might hit you. You're going up for a shot, you're going for a rebound. So I would say you should be on the same team with your son. If you're playing a physical sport, because you don't want your son to chas v'shalom hit you by mistake, by accident. Okay, so you have every person has to know which type of sport is there a concern. I don't know that there's a problem playing catch football with your son, even though you might, I don't know that would be an issue. But I would say. Football. I'm saying football is having a catch. What? Yeah, but even
shogeg.
Even shogeg is a sin. It's a sin for a child.
So if he throws me a ball and I look the other way, it hits me in the head.
That might be that might be a problem. You have to be on top of your game. If you're having a catch with your son, you got to be on top of your game. You can't be looking at your phone. Anybody who's playing with their kids, no looking at phones when you're playing with your kids at good hard football. I think this is the real halakha question, in my humble opinion. The halakha question, like I said, regarding basketball, is a physical sport. I was playing a game basketball, and somebody in the game got stitches at the end of the game. I mean, it happened. It was a tough. People that play a little. Sometimes people they don't mean it. Elbow, people bleed. It's a real. It happened to be one of my students from NYU wanted me to come play basketball with them, so they took me to the game, and the guys were playing tough. The guys played tough, very very physical, very physical. I used to be a center on the Young Israel basketball team, guys. The old days. Okay. Okay, very good. So just want to be aware of this point. So the Gemara says, what happened? The Torah says, if a person hits his father or mother, he's liable for a death penalty. The court will kill him if the court warns the guy and intentionally hits his father, or he intentionally curses his father or curses his mother, chas v'shalom, and he uses the name of Hashem together with the curse. He wrote God, God should. He said the name of God should curse this guy, and the son or daughter is obligated death for cursing a parent. A person curses another Jew, there's no death penalty. But if a person curses a parent, there's a death penalty. A person hits another Jew, there's no death penalty. A person hits a parent, there's death penalty. So now, if a person divorces his wife, the law is they have to wait 3 months before, if she wants to get remarried, for her to get remarried, she has to wait the minimum of 3 months. Why she has to wait a minimum of 3 months? Be able to discern if she's pregnant or not. But if she gets divorced, let's say she gets divorced today, and next week she goes to another man, or then the question will be, whose child is this? Is this child the child of the first husband, child of the second husband? But if
from the get, from the get, or from when they like when they live together.
The halacha most probably would say from the get. That's what I would say, because we can't guarantee who's with each other within 3 months. Even if they're separated before the get, I would think they would have to wait 3 months from the time. She has to wait a minimum of 3 months from the time of the get, because a baby is recognized. It says in Ubah, if a lady's pregnant, you could start noticing after 3 months. After 3 months, it's already recognizable. So therefore, we'll know. She'll know. It'll be clear if she's pregnant after 3 months. This guy went ahead. She got divorced, and after 2 months, she didn't wait 3 months. She waited 2 months. And after she waited 2 months, 7 months later, she gave birth to a baby. Mazel tov. Now she gave birth to a brook. She gave birth to a baby. Now the question is, who is the father of this baby? Is it the second husband, and it's a 7-month-old baby, or is it a 9-month-old baby from the first husband? Now, and one of the great differences, now first of all, who is his father? Who does he have to honor? Who's his obligation to honor? Who's father? And based on who his father would be, is ramification. If he hits either man, if we want to warn him, if he hit either man, will he be liable for the death penalty? Because we don't know. Is this his father? Is this his father? So this is the one in Miss Asbury. So it's a crazy case. But this is but you know what? It's not hard to hear that a lady doesn't know the law. She doesn't know that she has to wait 3 months. She might think, I'm divorced from this man, I can marry another man. Yeah. It's 7 months. 7 months after she got married to the second guy, the guy got, because she only waited 2 months between the divorce and the marriage to the second guy. She divorced from the first husband. Now she has a baby, and now we see that this baby boy or baby girl that's born, it's going to hit one of these guys. It's going to hit one of these men, one of these two men, husband number one and husband number two. He's going after husband number one or husband number two. Then one of them is the father, but we don't know which one is the father. But that might not be sufficient. The DNA, the blood test, that's a good question. Halacha, would they accept that or not? But that's a good question. But here we are before the DNA, before that, and the question is, can we? Who is the father, and how do we deal with the situation? We want to warn this kid. We want to warn this kid. This kid wants to be physical. And that doesn't make, the fact that you support doesn't make you the father. The father has to be the biological father. I once had a story. A guy came over to me, someone I know. He says, Rabbi, what happened was he divorced his wife at a very young age. The kids were very young, 2 young kids. And very sad story. And the father who divorced his wife says to me, Rabbi Friedman, my sons don't know that there's a mitzvah of honoring a parent. They had nothing to do with the father. He divorced at 2 years old, nothing, all nothing. But the father says, don't they know there's a mitzvah to honor a parent? I'm still the father. And so what did I tell him? You know what? You're right. They have a mitzvah to honor you, but they were dealt very tough cards at a very young age, and they don't know how to deal with it. That was my response. So he came over to me later and he said, Rabbi, you comforted me, They were dealt tough cards. Yeah, you were looking from your aspect that they were dealt cards at 2 years old. They have to warn the child. They say, back to our Gemara. Right before he's about to hit, so now how do you do that? So that's the Gemara is going to say two opinions here. One opinion says if he goes ahead, he hits this guy, you warn him, don't hit this guy. Because if you hit this guy and you hit the other guy, we're going to kill you for that. That's going to be the warning. But I'm warning you about this guy. If he hits one guy, there's no question. Nothing happens to the kid. Even if it's the right guy, because there's no way to know who the guy is, who his father is. But you warn him and you tell him, sir, young man, if you hit this guy, and then now it's a safek. If you hit this guy, whether you're going to get death for this blow, because the only way, if you hit this guy and then you hit the other guy at a later time, and you warned about the later guy, then we know that you definitely hit the father, because you hit this guy at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you hit the other guy at 11 o'clock in the morning. But when you were warned about the first guy, it wasn't clear at the time of your warning that you're going to get punished for this act of hitting this guy, because maybe this guy's not the father. Because maybe the father is. But you don't know. But again, your warning could mention both guys, but you don't know in this act, when you're doing this act, you don't know for sure there's going to be that you're hitting your father, that will incur the death penalty at the moment that you're doing your act. You don't know that. You don't know at 10 o'clock in the morning when you're giving him the warning. So the warning is suspended. It's not clear that there's death for this act. Right. Exactly. If there's warning, if I give him the warning, if the two guys, the husband number one, husband number two are standing in front of us, we tell the guy, don't hit this guy and don't hit this guy, and then immediately he has guns, not a gun. He has a hammer and he hits this guy and hits this guy with two different hands, or with the same hand. In one blow, he goes ahead and he goes across and he goes like that within a kol toch kedei diva, with that minimal amount of time, within 2 seconds, whatever that amount of time is. Then he will get killed for that. Because then it was clear in that act. He was told, he was warned, if you do this act, you're going to get killed, we tell the kid. And he did this act that he knows he's going to get killed at the moment he did the act, because he hit both at the same time. He went like this to both men. He hit them with his right hand, he hit one, left hand, he hit one, or in one shot, he did like that when he hit this one and this one within that amount of time. So then he knows clearly in that act that he's hitting his father. So therefore he will get killed. But what about if he hit one at 10 a.m. and one at 11 a.m.? So that's going to be, that's the question. Now he hit both. We know he got his father on the deal. Right. And the second one, you don't know when he hit the second one, what's that, his father on it? So that's going to be a machlokes in the Gemara. One of them is, so you don't know. At the time you did it's not clear. One is, he knows one of them is his father. He's warned, he's told one of them is his father. So that's the Gemara's issue. So what does the Gemara say? So the Gemara says like this, the Tanya, we learned in the Brayta. In the arts, what do you say? Mori Yosef at Tzaddik. We're on 16A1 on the bottom. The Tanya. Hika zeh, he hit this husband number one, the chazavik is there. And then he hit husband number two. Or kilel zeh, he cursed husband number one. The chazeh, the kilel zeh. And then he cursed husband number two. Those case, that's case. Now here comes the new case. Hikish neim abatachat. If he hit both of them at the same time, or kilush neim abatachat, or he cursed both of them at the same time. How do you curse two people at the same time? So you said within a second. He said in one sentence. He said both names, Reuven and Shimon. He said Reuven and Shimon. How long does it take? How long would it take to say Reuven, Shimon, and should be God cursed them? It takes 1, 2, 3. So chayav. He's chayav the death by going ahead and doing any of these scenarios. The Gemara says if he one after the other. Obviously, if one after the other they get killed, certainly together they get killed. If they did both together. But Rabbi Yehuda says no. He makes a distinction. Bivat achat chayav. Only if he hit both men, husband number one and husband number two, or person at the same time, then he'll get death. But bizeh achazeh patur. But if he hit one at 10 a.m. and he hit the next one, Simon hit the two husbands, but the woman did not wait 3 months after she got divorced from husband number one. She married husband number two. Then they have a baby. We don't know who's the father, first man or the second man, because they only waited 2 months between the first marriage and the second marriage.
That marriage no good, Robert.
The marriage is good. It's 100% a good marriage. It's a good marriage because she was divorced from the first husband and she married the second husband. The marriage is good, but the only question is who's the child. That's the only question we have on the table. Who is the child? Who's the father of this child? Correct. Whose child is this? Right. Right. So that sure, it's very, very. But at the end of the day, we know he definitely killed his father. But in his mind, it wasn't. What? Right. Right, but he does know what he does know. But when he does know that one of them, when he hits the second guy, he knows by the end of the day, he hit his father. And he was warned before the second one. Right. Right. So what do we say? So this opinion says, Rabbi Yehuda says that we do not kill this patur. Why is he patur? Why don't we kill the son for killing? Because he definitely killed his father. Because he holds that the warning, there's something. He definitely killed his father. I'm sorry, he hit his father. I'm sorry, but the reason why we don't do it is because there was an issue. There was a problem with the warning. Because the warning, when you warned him, each time you warned him, it wasn't clear from the warning that the person that he's killing at this moment is his father. Yes, and immediately, exactly, and therefore we see that this type of warning is not a good. The warning being suspended and it's not good. It's not a good enough warning. Let's say when he hits the guy in the morning. He doesn't know that he doesn't know that this is his father that he's hitting, that he's hitting, that he should get killed for it. So therefore, even though at the end of the day, really it's suspended because at the end, if he hits his father and he hits the other man, and the second man, he definitely. Right. He doesn't get. Right. Exactly. That's why he doesn't. That's why he doesn't get killed for this.
Rabbi.
Yes. 1 second, Yaron. Yes.
What's the standard for the warning? If he went to a class in the morning and he was warned, if you hit a parent, you have the death penalty. Is that the sufficient warning, or it has to be warned right before he's about to do it from the witness who's seeing it?
Right, the latter, right before he does it, and he needs to know. And this person, it's like right before he does the act.
So general knowledge of a prohibition is not warning enough.
Not warning enough. No, there is an opinion in the Gemara that says that might be enough. Let's say a Torah scholar who knows the law doesn't need to be warned. There's an opinion in the Gemara because he knows the law. He knows, like you said, Chaim. But that doesn't seem to be the general opinion of halacha. That you have to be warned right before you do this act, even if you know it, even if you know. Right. Even though hitting the father is not, you don't have to have intention to kill the father, just to make a wound. Just to make a wound, the black and blue mark in a parent, that would reach the level of the type of act that you get killed for. And again, basically, meaning the sin was done. The act of the sin was done, but it was done unintentionally by the basketball. But the sin, well, we can't kill the guy. What? It's a sin, right? It's a forbidden, right? Right. It's a sword. It's just like I can't eat not kosher unintentionally. I can't do a sin. I can't. But it's a sin. The act to show gay. Well, the act is a sin. Hitting a parent unintentionally, but not that. It's a sin. We don't, and it's a big sin, even unintentionally. It's a big sin to do something. You want to play golf with your father? No problem. What's say?
Saying if the father knows his risk and knows it's not intentional.
Still, if the father knows, it doesn't make a difference. I don't think that's a real concern by driving a car, but I think there's a real issue in a physical sport like basketball. That's my humble opinion. Now, you can. By the way, I'm happy people should ask Posek if you should take your father. If you should take your father in a basketball game, should you be the one going up with the rebounds? Your father going up with the rebounds? You should ask a Posek. We could send the question to Posek, and ask him that what they say. I would be happy to hear that I'm wrong. I would be happy to hear that, but I'm afraid to say I'm afraid I might not be wrong.
Rabbi,
Right?
I wouldn't play basketball with my sons out of embarrassment.
Okay. But you know what? They might want to play with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. If he knocks out the fix, he would. If he knocks out the fix, he will get. But in order to give a guy any time, in order to give a guy lashes, there's no possibility to give lashes unless there's one. Even when there's a fix, but he might remove the fix later, right? What happened? Let's say the case is if the guy raped a woman, the guy, right? The only fix is you have to ask forgiveness. But that's the thing. Right. Okay. So let's see the Gemara. Let's just to tell you in the case. If the guy raped the woman and he married the woman after he raped, and then the law is you warn him you're not allowed to divorce that woman. Now, if he divorces that woman, he might get lashes if he goes ahead and he does something that forbids him from ever fixing up the divorce. But so if you warn him right before the divorce and you say, sir, if you divorce this woman, you might get lashes if you do something to remove the opportunity to fix it up. So that's a warning that's suspended. You warned him right before he's about to divorce his wife. You're telling him you're not allowed to divorce this woman. But at the end of the day, he might not get lashes for it because he might take her back. But he might get lashes for this act because he might not do something to stop him from ever taking her back. Exactly. In order to you have to receive a warning before the violation, before the act of divorcing the wife. Exactly. That right. But he has the fix. Correct. But he's saying there's no lashes. There's no lashes. There's no punishment unless the guy, even if you don't do the fix, if you do the act, a guy eats not kosher. There's witnesses watching a guy eat not kosher. He's going to the lobster. He's eating the lobsters. No warning, no lashes. Yes. Capital punishment. 2 witnesses. Anything to give lashes also needs 2 witnesses. Anything to hit the guy, 2 witnesses. Monetary also needs 2 witnesses to take money from somebody. But monetary needs two witnesses. The only thing is the one witness could obligate an oath. That means if I say, if I'm a witness to say that Nathan lent Ruvain $1,000 and Ruvain denies it. Ruvain says, Nathan did not lend me $1,000. Now, as one witness, I cannot obligate Ruvain to pay the $1,000 to Nathan because I'm two witnesses say that the Ruvain borrowed $1,000 from Nathan and Ruvain denies it. Two witnesses win. They say you borrowed the money. You deny it. I was there. You borrowed but here I have one witness. I'm only one witness. I have the power to make Ruvain swear that he didn't borrow the money. One witness has a power to create an oath. To force the defendant to swear to what you said. You said you didn't borrow the money. I say you borrowed the money. I come to court. I testify that you borrowed the money. I don't win based on my test. I don't win for Nathan. But if he doesn't swear, then he has to pay. Right. But let's say the guy denied the loan. He said he did not borrow $1,000. And I was there, and I'm a witness, and I say, good morning. And I say, I was there. I saw on Sunday you borrowed $1,000. Now that the witness, come and say, I have a power to create you, to obligate you to swear. You have to swear to say that you did not borrow the money. And if you swear to say that you didn't borrow the money, then you win. Then you don't have to pay it. There are one witness, there's certain things that witness, and then the woman that looks into it, it works together, that witness and the wife being willing to get married, because she knows if her husband comes back, she's going to lose her first husband and her second husband. So there's special things that rabbis allowed in order to help a woman to get remarried. It made certain they were able to, they allow in the case of death of a husband. Okay, so the Gemara says the following. Rabbi Yochanan nami vadai lav she'ein bo ma'asehu. The Gemara is now questioning Rabbi Yochanan. Now we're now on article 16a2 on the left column. Say that again. Nami have a vadai. Rabbi Yochanan nami also havadai, certainly. Lav, it's a prohibition. She'ein bo ma'asehu. It's a prohibition that does not carry an action. Which case? The notar case, leaving over to the morning. The Torah says, right, Morris, don't leave the Korban Pesach to the morning. That's what the Torah says. And yet, how do you violate that prohibition? By doing nothing, by just leaving it over to the morning. You're being inactive. Rabbi Yochanan had gone on record, if you violate something by being inactive, if that's how the violation is done, there's no lashes for a violation that was done by just doing nothing. You have to do an action to get lashes. So the Gemara's question now on Rabbi Yochanan, why does Rabbi Yehuda say that the reason why there's no lashes by this case of leaving overnight is because there's a fix? The Torah gave us step 2. The Torah gave us a fix, burn it. That's why there's no lash. Indicating if the Torah would not have given us a fix, what would have been? There'd be lashes. Why would there be lashes? The violation was done without an action. That is the Gemara. So the Gemara wants to infer from the fact that Rabbi Yehuda says that the reason why there's no lashes is because the Torah says that you burn it in the morning. The Torah gave us a different fix, not lashes, indicating if the Torah would not have told us to burn in the morning, he would have gotten lashes for being a violation of leaving overnight. But what? It's inaction. So why would he get lashes? But indicating if there won't be no positive fix, what will be the law? So even if there's no positive fix, you shouldn't get lashes. That's what Rabbi Yochanan said. Inaction is no lashes. That's Rabbi Yochanan. Very good, Mark. So the Gemara says, morning, Charles. So the Gemara says the following: Rabbi Yochanan has a different opinion. He found a different Tana. So again, The Gemara is questioning Rabbi Yochanan from an early rabbi. He's questioning from Rabbi Yehuda's statement, and the later rabbis would not argue on the early rabbis. So the Gemara says he found Rabbi Yehuda, a Rabbi Yehuda, an early rabbi who concurs with his opinion. And meaning to say he has what to hang his hat on. Savala kiha de Omar of Idi bar Avin, Omar of Amram. Of Idi bar Avin, said in the name of Rav Amram, who said in the name of Rabbi Yitzchak, who said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, that said, Rabbi Yehuda Omer. Rabbi Yehuda says, Mishum Rabbi Yossi Aglili. Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Rabbi Yossi Aglili, Kol lo saseh Shabbat. Anytime the Torah says, don't do something, Lav shev bo maaseh, if it's a prohibition that carries with it an action, and you were warned, lo kinalav, you get lashes. But Lav she'ein bo maaseh, but a violation that does not have an action, ein lo kinalav. So we have on record the Tana that says, if you do a violation that there's no action, you do not get lashes. So therefore, Rabbi Yochanan, you can't question Rabbi Yochanan, the later rabbi's opinion, from an early opinion that disagrees with him, because he found another early opinion that agrees with him. So the bagel guy should, exactly, the bagel guy who had made an oath that I'm going to eat this bagel today. And how does he violate this prohibition? If he doesn't eat the bagel today, he swore, I'm going to eat the bagel today. And he doesn't eat the bagel. He violated by being inactive. He didn't eat the bagel. There's no lashes. Why? Because it's a violation that was done without action. But the Gemara is going to say there is a case of an oath, and there is there are a few cases that are exceptions to this rule. A different case of an oath, not that case of an oath, a different case. Kigon, the Gemara says, Kigon hanishba u'meimer. We're going to see tomorrow the 3 cases of exceptions that if you didn't do an action, there will be lashes. Stay tuned tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you all for coming. Mr. Batich, want to hold? Yeah, there are exceptions to the rule. Correct, Mr. Batich.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you.
Thank you, Yosef. Jaime, you wanted to say something?
We're gonna go to 5 minutes.
I can't hear you, Jaime. I think you're muted for a second.
Hey, Mark Adri. Love you.
Thank you,
Where
son.
are you?
I'm in my apartment.
Back in town.
Where you been? Where you been?
It's a long story. I'll tell you when I see you.
Dubai. Where?
Rabbi, do you want to call me on that issue you called me about, or it's too late?
It's over, but I'll tell you. I'll call you anyways. I'll just fill you in.
Okay.
But thank you anyway. Thank you for for offering to be available. Thank you so much.
Do you want to call me now or another time?
Gotta call you another time because I'm running out.
Yeah,
to
of course. Go ahead.
NYU.
Go
Okay,
ahead. We'll
thank you
talk
very
later.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you for
Thank you, Yosef.
everyone.
Well, you too. Thank you, Yosef. All the best.
Bye.